Young Czech sends Eala packing. In a shocking twist, Eala suffered painful 6-7, 1-6 setback to 18-year-old Teresa Valentova of Czech Republic to make an early exit in the WTA 1000 Qatar Open late Monday, Manila time, at the Khalifa International Tennis and Squash Complex in Doha. Eala, who rose to her career best number 40 ranking a day before, was obviously outworked, outgunned, and out-hustled by the younger, more aggressive Czech to bomb out in the round of 64 of this prestigious event that is rated just one rung below the Grand Slam tournaments. Prior to facing Valentova, the Filipina bowed to Barbora Krejcikova in the round of 64 of the Wimbledon on the 1st of July, Linda Fruhvirtova in the round of 32 of the Birmingham Open on the 3rd of June, Marie Buzkova in the round of 32 of the Jiangxi Open on the 28th of October, 2024, and Katerina Siniakova in the round of 64 of the Wuhan Open on the 7th of October, 2024. More than that, it was the second loss of Eala to Valentova, who also beat her in the Japan Women's Open in October of last year when she was just a few months removed from her campaign in the junior division. Still, the Czech has nothing but praises to her fellow rising star. She's a really good player and a really good fighter. So it was a really good match, Valentova said. I'm just super glad and grateful that I can be here and compete on this beautiful center court. I'm really glad that I won this tough match. While most of Eala's opponents would be initially thrown off by the loud cheers of the Filipino crowd in attendance, Valentova simply brushed it off as she drew from her experience in the French Open last year where she defeated local bet Chloe Paquette 4-6, 6-3, 7-6 in the first round. Advertisement. I've played in front of a bigger crowd before, like at the French Open, so I knew how this works. Hats off to the fans. You were incredible today, Valentova said. It was Eala's first early exit in a WTA 1000 tourney of the year and her second overall in the women's singles. The 20-year-old Filipina ace lost to world number 77 Alicia Parks of the United States, 6-0, 3-6, 2-6, in the first round of the Australian Open last January. Fatigue might have kicked in for the Rafael Nadal Academy alumna as she has been competing since the Auckland Open last month and had only a few days to rest and recover. Despite the loss, Eala is still thankful for the fans who came out and supported her in the Qatar Open. Talo noyon pero chuloy pa rin ng laban. Bawateo sa susunod. Eala will now be taking a much-needed breather as she prepares for the Dubai Tennis Championships at the Aviation Club Tennis Center from 15 to the 21st of February. Her final stop in the Middle East stint before flying to the United States for the BNP Paribas Open in March. The Prague air carried the sharpness of early spring, the kind that nipped at the skin and sharpened the senses. Inside the compact stadium at Stvarnes Island, however, the atmosphere buzzed with warmth and anticipation. The clay court, freshly brushed and glowing rust red beneath the afternoon sun, waited like a stage before opening night. On one side of the net stood Alexandra Eala, composed, focused, already a name that carried weight in junior Grand Slams and WTA conversations. She bounced lightly on her toes, dark ponytail swaying, eyes narrowed not in arrogance but in practiced concentration. Across from her stood a player many in the crowd had only recently begun to whisper about. 17-year-old Klara Novotná. A wild card entry. A local girl with a fierce two-handed backhand and a reputation for running down every ball as though chased by fire. The announcer's voice faded into polite applause, though the Czech supporters made their preference clear. Small flags waved. A cluster of teenagers in the second row chanted, "Klara, Klara," with hopeful defiance. Eala served first. From the opening rally, it was clear this would not be routine. Eala's first serve cracked across the net, precise and powerful. Klara's return, however, came back deep, heavy, looping with topspin that kicked high into Eala's strike zone. The rally extended, forehand crosscut, backhand down the line, a sudden drop shot from Eala that drew gasps. Klara sprinted. Clay sprayed behind her shoes as she reached the ball with a desperate flick, sending it barely over the net. Eala rushed forward to finish, but the Czech had already anticipated the angle. A sharp passing shot zipped down the line. The crowd erupted. Eala blinked once, then nodded to herself. A warning shot fired. The first set unfolded like a chess match played at full sprint. Eala's experience showed in her shot selection. She varied pace, used angles, and tested Klara's patience. But patience, it turned out, was one of Klara's quiet weapons. At 4-4, the tension thickened. Eala served, 30-15. A long rally ended with Clara stepping inside the baseline and unleashing a backhand that painted the sideline, 30-30. On the next point, Eala attempted a daring second serve down the tee. It clipped the tape and fell back. Double fault. A murmur rippled through the stands. Clara sensed the shift. On breakpoint, she attacked a short forehand, driving it deep before finishing with a confident overhead. The game was hers. Saving for the set at 5-4. Clara paused before her first save, glancing briefly at the Czech flag stitched onto his sleeve. Her father had sewn it there himself after she received the wild card. Play brave, he had told her. She did. An ace out wide. A forehand winner. 2 errors from Eala under relentless pressure. 40 love. On set point, the rally stretched to 23 shots. Each strike echoed like a heartbeat in the tight stadium. Eala fought with grit, redirecting pace, refusing to yield. But when she attempted to change direction down the line, her forehand drifted long by inches. 6-4, Novotna. The applause rose into a roar. Eala walked to her chair calmly, sipping water, face unreadable. She had clawed her way out of tougher positions before. Across the net, Clara sat with a towel draped over her shoulders, pulse hammering in her ears. She avoided looking at the scoreboard. One set up against a player ranked nearly 100 spots above her. Stay here. 1 point at a time. The second set began with renewed intensity from Eala. She stepped further into the court, cutting off angles and flattening her ground strokes. The change was immediate. Clara, suddenly rushed, netted 2 forehands in the opening game. Break. Eala's confidence surged. Her footwork sharpened. Her serves found corners with ruthless efficiency. She mixed and dropped shots, drawing Clara forward before passing her with surgical precision. The Czech crowd quieted as the game slipped away. 1-4. Clara's frustration flickered for the first time. She slapped her thigh after a missed return, clay dust rising in protest. Eala, sensing vulnerability, pressed harder. At 2-5, saving to stay in the set, Clara steadied herself. She remembered the countless winter mornings training in an unheated indoor court, breath visible in the cold. She remembered losing first rounds, shaking hands through tears. This was different. She held serve with grit, saving a set point with a fearless backhand winner.